Welcome, Toktam Thomas, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So, today we're going to be having you on as a fitness and mindset coach, and we're going to be talking about the work that you do, all the answers you know. You are the expert in your own mind, in your own field. Mindset is such a big thing to me. I'm a mindset coach myself, and fitness is something I go after every single day because if I'm not fit, I am almost like a hypocrite because I'm not walking the walk and talking the talk. And when it comes to mindset, you have to show up. You have to have a strong conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. And all of those things are the totality of mindset. But today we're going to be talking about the work that you do, learning about your history, how you got into this field. But in your own words, can you tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help them?
My name is Toktam Thomas. I have discovered that everything basically comes back to mindset. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, if it's your career, if it's your health, your relationships, it does not matter. By the end of the day, if you don't have a system for any of those areas, you're just set up for failure because it's an equation. If you put random input in, you will get random results. And I have created a system as well as my purpose is to forward the system. I want to help people to better themselves because I truly believe to my core that we are meant to give forward what we have overcome, create systems, and better everybody around us. So everybody is winning. Generally speaking, I want to take people from average to savage. I think there's a strong savage part inside everybody. Most people are afraid to unleash it because of a lot of layers they have put on throughout their years and growing up and society. And I want to help them to find their inner voice, true self. And the basic, absolute basic for it is your fitness. There's no way you can find yourself when your mind is clouded with food and when your body is not set straight. If this is a nutshell, this is the nutshell. The way I came to this is I was just like everybody else, wondering and having these questions in my head. Everybody has these questions. Everybody thinks they are so special. But unfortunately and fortunately, 99% of the people deal with the same problem. They have the same questions. There is an internal force and a voice inside of you that will tell you to do better. If you do not align with your better self and lean into pleasure and weakness, you receive a sort of a punishment by the universe, if you want to call it that. If it's being overweight, if it's losing time because you have relationships that are not going well, you have said things that are not aligned with your best self, you lose time thinking over it. Thinking and losing time over thinking is one of the greatest leaks of everybody I know. Over analyzing, being stuck in their own head. So once you channel all these forces and understand that you need to align yourself with who you are inside. And I don't care what the problems are you have to overcome or had to overcome in life and what the sad story is behind it. I have plenty of sad stories that I'm happy to share. That's just a given and it's a gift. You have to overcome those and you have to make a system and forward it because there's plenty of people who have exactly the same problem. Now you're going to stand up and be the leader because nobody else is taking the spot. And it's your responsibility to take the spot. This is what we are here for. It's not a choice for me. You have to become a better version of yourself and work on it relentlessly every day. I'm here and I'm happy to help anybody who feels as if they're ready. There's a time where everybody feels as if they're ready, and there's A lot of times, unfortunately, a situation coming into people's lives where they are with the back against a wall, then they're seeking for help. And I believe that we connect the way things are supposed to be. So if you find me or I find you online, social media platforms are actually amazing for this. We are kind of our path are crossed at that time and moment. And action is one thing that is going to distinguish the people who are going to make it and not. There's a lot of hesitation, a lot of thinking, which comes back to belief. People don't believe there is a better version of themselves. They don't believe that higher self is there. They doubt it and they don't see their own potential, which I do see in people. I see their potential, I see their talents, I see where they shine, which is one part, but also where they're lacking matching that perfect person. We close the gap between who you are today and the person you're supposed to be. And we create a belief. We make sure you see your own potential. The actions that are coming out of that suddenly are elevated actions because your actions are going to align with your higher self. And your results will be better. Your belief is strengthened, and so on. It goes into a spiral, into a circle, up, up, up. Or you can use the same force and it goes down. It's the basics are simple. However, we have unfortunately, the older you get, the more you have been engaged in negative self talk, in habitual creating the outcomes that you have received right now in your life, me in my life. We have to constantly work on overriding what we're doing without even thinking about it. As an example, we get up in the morning, most people grab their phone, first thing they do, they go on social media. You make your coffee, you make your bed or not, you put your clothes on, brush your teeth, whatever you do, there's not much thinking going on anymore. Creating a new person will just do things differently, and that's the hardest part, to shift into that new person.
We have to get into the nitty gritty though, right? Because what you said is all great, but we do need to make it so the listener can make it very simple for them, right? When they're listening to this, they're like, okay, what are the steps for me to create that system to my success, right? Because yes, we all have that voice inside of us that can take us from average all the way to savage. As people typically just need a little bit of guidance, step by step almost. It's like baby steps where we say, okay, let's take this approach because sometimes people they don't know, right? They have those limiting beliefs and they do have to get into that system of knowing that they can do great things in their life. But how a person should approach it is going to be unique always, but typically they're not going to just jump in the pool most of the time, right? The subconscious mind is just going to be too shocked by that. If you start going to the gym 7 days a week, eventually you're going to fall off. But if you say I'm going to go to the gym 2 days a week and you stay committed for 90 days doing that, then you could tack on three, then four, and then now you have that habit created. But I wanted to get into your systems of success and what you found to be the best system for you and then for your clients.
It's interesting that you mentioned this. Yes, it is challenging for people. However, challenge is what we're going for. In my system, I'm in a world of very black and white. Things either I want to go from A to B the fastest way possible. I'm not that person who is gonna support you in you belittling yourself. For me, nobody starts on 2 days usually. They get a workout plan at least 6 days, and the seventh day, I would like for you to be active. The reason we do this is we are literally creating new habits, and getting up in the morning and working out and staying on your macros is just the absolute basic. For me, unless I have CEOs that are traveling a lot, and the only question I care about is how do we make it work? So even when you're traveling and we're looking at restaurants because you go to dinners with your company, We can look at restaurants at the menus beforehand and choose what we're going to eat. And we always make sure the hotels have some sort of gym, and we can adjust any kind of workout if we need to. And even if it comes down to you're going to knock out 50 or 100 or 150 burpees, I don't care what you do, but you need to work out 7 days a week, and that needs to be part of your routine. The reason is also I get really good results. We are creating the person that you admire, and that will be for you a different person than it will be for me. When somebody walks into a room, and if that has happened to you before, and you think, man, this guy has it all. He looks great. He showed up in a, I don't know what your dream car is, in a Lamborghini. He has a gorgeous wife and he has 5 kids, or I don't know, any kind of athlete you can think of. Most people respect that person because you know exactly how much work they have put in. So we are not shying away from the work on my system at all. We are creating more work as we go. There's never going to be any kind of end to this. It's not a diet that you are aiming to do for 90 days usually. We are making it a lifestyle. This is going to become you. You are going to become a healthy person. And we are weekly talking about non-negotiable habits that we are going to additionally put on your plate as we go. But we start with 6 to 7 days a week working out, workouts, if it's a home gym, home like body weight or gym, whatever your preference is, whatever we have available, and macros. I put everybody on macros. We jump from belief and potential. We go right into action because I also have people who are ex-drug addicts and they don't have that belief. It's destroyed. They don't see a potential because they have been told so often no and have basically crushed their own self. So we jump right into action. Once you look different than everybody else, once you look lean, healthy, strong, you just want more. You see what the gym is a very good way to explain to people if there's no resistance, there's no muscle growth. You start very small and we grow as we go. You don't compare yourself to the bodybuilder yet, but we grow. And even if we do baby steps, but we do it every day, we have to have habits that are non-negotiable every day. This is how I start. Now, going into the very fine details, I let my clients send me a photo of their head basically cut out with the body they admire, whatever that looks like. I want them all to read a book. There's a handful of books that I recommend. They can choose one. I do ask them to journal. I do not track that. Then they go to the gym and then they go stay on their macros. That's usually for most people enough in the beginning.
When we get into the gym, right, is it going to be one of those vigorous types of workouts where it's just like do or die, or is it going to be structured where we maybe begin slow, starting off when we start working with you 15 minutes, maybe even though 7 days a week, or do we do like an hour a day?
It matters where you're coming from. So if you're 350 pounds, I will not let you do a HIIT workout for 30 minutes. Then we're going to do something slower, walking, getting just the muscles going. If you're coming in, I have trainers that come in, coaches themselves, and they are used to working out 7 days a week. Then we're going to go a little bit harder. But usually I try to keep it at around an hour. You're getting in. I use 2 apps that are very common. You go in, you look into your app, what's on the program today, you put in the weights that you use and the reps. We can see there's an increase. We have muscle growth. That's it. And you use another app to track your macros. And I can on the back end, I can see exactly what you are doing. And through those apps, you have 24/7 access to me. So if there's any question during your workout, you can always write me and say, hey, how does this work? Or there's also a video provided for each workout. If somebody says, I have only a home gym, which I do have that too, we can work around it. I ask what equipment they have and we do that.
Well, you said something early on where we have this voice inside of our head. It's like that voice of our true potential, our desired self. Sometimes that voice can be just muffled from everything that the world is telling us, or as you said earlier, our limiting beliefs. Sometimes when people talk about that voice, that inner monster, the demon, whatever you want to call it, right? David Goggins always talks about this. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the man. He's very into this. Like, I'm going to get rid of all my self-doubt, all my limiting beliefs. And sometimes it's like fighting those demons and getting rid of those voices that are telling us to stop, to give up. And I wanted to get an understanding of that voice and what it means to conquer it.
So David Goggins, I have read all his books and I'm a huge fan of his. There are two voices. One is the voice that will tell you to stay in bed, and the other one will say it's better to get up. I side with your conscience, the inner voice that is always going to lead you into the harder route, but it's always the right one to go. Whenever there's the choice between ice cream and the walk, I'm going to be on the walk side. Now, do I have sometimes an ice cream? Yes, I do. It is not about not having those things ever in your life again. It is about making that choice consciously. So when you have a calling and you get up your couch to get that box of Oreos or the pizza because you really need it, or you drive by a fast food restaurant and you can't help it. It's not a choice that you're really making consciously. You're just doing it because you're too weak. Your mind is not hard enough yet to say, I'm going to turn off my feelings and decide what is actually good for me. Is it always fun in the beginning? No. But once you start learning that this is a muscle that can grow and you can overcome that, it sparks in everybody and they see suddenly their potential, and you start stacking those wins that you have. Very small choices, those are the most important ones. And most people, unfortunately, go Monday through Friday when they're on a diet, call it a cheat day on Saturday and Sunday. They're really, honestly, they're taking back steps, not realizing really if you would continue those weekends doing what is good for you, not how I feel good, what is good for you, they would get so much more done in their life. If they would, I get up every morning at 2:45. I have approximately 30 more days throughout the year. People say, I have two little kids. I have a husband who's self-employed too. I need to get the work done. And nobody cares how I get it done. I'm not going to call my client and say, look, I didn't get your workout onto your schedule because my kid was sick. This is never going to happen. I get it done, and you do not have to care about my situation. I got your back. I need people to understand that nobody's coming to care for their problems and nobody's coming to save them. Everybody wants that one person to come and say they're so special. The teacher, the parent, we are so used to somebody stepping in and saying, you're so special. But honestly, you need to learn to have self-respect by the actions that you take every day and love yourself. Truly, people throw it around like nothing. You love and respect yourself, and then you step into that room and you will see people, you demand respect because you are doing more than everybody else. It's that simple. I don't know how often, at least once a day, somebody comes up and talks to me about my arms or my at the gym, at my abs or whatever. Once you're undeniable, people cannot help it but come over and say, what are you doing differently than anybody else? I just stay consistent with an outcome, not consistent with no outcome, because there are plenty of people in the morning at the gym who consistently come to the gym but have no results. If you go for the feeling, if you learn this comes part of you because you're getting closer to your true self, you're not doing it for the outcome. That's just a byproduct. but you're going to be the best at it because you just don't take any back steps. You don't go on the weekends and drink. You don't go and eat the pizza. You don't go and party. You don't have your friends over and get wasted. You just don't do that because when you have a really, really great life, you do not seek to escape it in form of drinking and getting high and getting that dopamine hit by getting the foods that you like because I'm enjoying myself. What if you create a life that you actually enjoy and don't want to escape? Vacation and drinking seems like a very odd situation to you. Generally speaking, I think the society is a little upside down on these things. It is not okay for me. And I used to be just right there. I used to do the same and I used to exactly think, well, everybody goes work Monday through Friday and then on the weekends you enjoy yourself until I learned differently. And now once you know and once you learn, there's no way of going back because once you're aligned, there's this power just pulling you. You can't help it but move forward into that direction. It's not every day easy. And there are days where I just don't want to get up at 2:45. But those are the days that are going to make me. If it's easy, everybody would do it. I truly believe that we're just very comfortable right now. Generally speaking, people are complaining. The more comfortable they are, the more they are complaining. The more they eat, the more they drink, the more miserable. They're looking for their happiness in those places they have lost them. And it's never going to work out.
Yeah, people love simple, people love easy. And this is a hard pill for people to swallow because they don't want to take accountability. They would rather blame someone else, make excuses, and try to take the shortcut, the easy road most of the time. Yes, they might work out Monday through Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday, they're not continuing with their habits and their routines. And then they always are trying to repair themselves for all the damage they've done. We do have to understand that every choice we make has some type of consequence. It could be a beneficial consequence or it could be a consequence that's not good for us. Most of the times when we are weak and when we are heading home from work and we just want something quick and we stop at a fast food joint, that right there is a decision that is coming from weakness because we can make a better choice. We can go to Whole Foods, we can get some food, and we can spend 30 to 45 minutes making something when we get home. But it's easier just to go to a drive through, maybe save a little bit of money because Whole Foods is going to be maybe more expensive. And you're like, well, I'm hitting two birds, one stone. I'm saving money and I'm doing this quickly. But life is not about just rushing through everything very quickly. It's about doing things in a fashion that is like, yes, this is going to help build me up, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. That mentality that brings people to a stronger mindset and to the goals that they're looking for, whether that be fitness or just in your personal life, marriage, relationships, work, career, all of that is going to stem from having a strong mindset, understanding what you want to do. And then the word I want to say is not belittling that goal, right? You go for it and you make sure you get it. There is no other alternative. But if you give yourself another alternative, then you're always going to choose weakness at some point. And we do have to get into the mindset that is not the case. We do have to figure out how to get into that stronger, more positive mindset that's going to challenge us, right? We need to be challenged. We need to know that there is no option but success, right? This is plan A. Let's burn the ships. This is a mindset. Some people are going to agree with it. Some people are not. Some people don't have that ambition. Some people are just going to live in their comfort zone for the rest of their life. It is not my place to shame these people, but it is my place to at least make them aware that they do have potential that they can reach for. And I know the time kind of flies by when we do these episodes because you're just kind of hitting us with all of this positive mindset that helps people get into a new way of thinking. It's that hard truth that people don't want to hear sometimes. Because if you're 300 pounds overweight, no one wants to hear that they're 300 pounds overweight. They want to be told that they're big and beautiful. No, sweetheart, you need to get back in shape. And right there, again, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's the mindset. It's a lifestyle that we do have to live. But what I want, because we are going to be wrapping up, I want to get your final words, final thoughts, and then to tell the audience where they can find you.
I want to tell everybody who has given up on themselves, they know exactly they're on the wrong path and they know exactly what they need to do. It's going to be painful, but it's worth it. They're worth it. And I'm happy to help anyone who is willing to put the work in. I'm not going to help you to feel sorry for yourself. I am going to be on the tough side because I see the potential in you and I'm not going to let you off the hook saying that you can't do it. I'm not doing that to my children. I'm not doing it to an adult. I see the potential. And if you are 300 pounds and overweight, there is millions of people in this country who would love to know how to overcome this problem and live a life where you can tie your shoes yourself. So figure it out for everybody else if it's not for yourself, for the children, for your neighbors who are watching you, for your mom, for your dad. I don't care who it is. You owe it to figure out the situation for somebody else. If you want to find me, I'm mainly on Instagram. It's Toktam Thomas Health, Toktam Thomas Health. And my website is tt-health as well. So you'll find me. It's a white picture of me. I think it's on the Zoom as well. If you have any questions, you will be on my website. When you click the link, it'll be my cell phone. So you'll be texting with me personally. There's no third party involved. I want to talk to you and I want to see where your doubts are coming from.
And I would definitely put those links in the description box below so people can reach out to your Instagram and then also the website so they can check you out, learn about the programs, learn more about your systems, learn about your beliefs, learn about the work that you're doing, helping people get into a stronger mindset and into a better body. It's so important in our world today that we begin to take accountability for our actions and our choices. And we do need someone to hold our feet to the flame and to hold us accountable. And I think you do a great job in that regard because people will try to take the easy road. They will try to take the easy out. They will try to, make the teacher feel bad for them, but that's not happening with you, right? It's do or die. And that is so important when you want someone to succeed because you see that potential and you see that growth. I want to thank you so much for coming on, spending some time with us, and then sharing with the world what you do.